What up, Ultra? We're gonna be trying to fix. Oh boy, the exposure. The exposure. Let's see. There we go. See if that'll keep us all on. Come on. Focus camera. There we go. Now it's focused. Close stream. You know, every time I get started, a new person says the same thing. That word. Let's see. Yeah. Welcome, welcome. All right. Let's see. Try and get this all set up. Oof. Oof. Try and get this thing to focus. 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 Hello. I have to be focused. Hello, hand. Yes, my hand is here, I think. Okay, so I need. This is what Terminal did to his, and I need to remove this. Looks focused enough to me. Which I'm fixing a Pokemon Go Plus Plus that has had a modification gone awry done to it. But it's nothing that the good old soldering iron won't fix. Just need the right tip. That'd be this tiny itty bitty one. You kicking butt? No. I am not kicking butt. Can't kick butt, not when you're repairing. That's how stuff gets broken. Also, let me know if the game audio is too not game audio, the music audio. Sounds good. I wanted some music playing in the background. Alright, so let me get it disconnected from this side of the board first. What up, TSP? I got all my stuff ready. Oh, if it'll stop vibrating. Trying to find a good angle for you guys. You guys just tell me if it looks terrible and I'll try and adjust it. I got the Q-tips. You like vibrate? No, all the vibration's taken off here. If you had a mount, you can have the camera direct. I mean, I do have a mount. Hello! If you can't tell. It's just, I don't want it to be in my way either. Is the biggest thing. I mean, if I just had one, just in general, that was better than the one that I have now, it'd be nice. But I'm working with what I got just to get it done. Take off my watch. I'm also almost 100% sure it's vibrating because of the cord that's connecting everything together. Still need to try and get a plus. You really can't find them for too cheap nowadays. It's a very niche item to own whenever it comes to playing Pokemon Go. Clean that flux up that I put on there. This is going to be the take or break, in a sense. And I'm hoping just a very nice, easy take. Okay. So I'm going to explain something to everybody, just in case anybody is looking at modding your own plus or anything. Whenever you're looking at wiring it, the test point isn't the physical button itself, but this itty bitty tiny circle that you guys can see right here. That's the actual test, and that's what we'll be soldering to whenever we solder the wire from the motor into the test point. It'll be going to right here. Is it revivable? We are finding that out now. What I'm most surprised about, honestly, is this not actually messing with the button itself. Like, the functionality on the button's still there. You can still press it. There's no flux hidden underneath it or anything. So I'm thinking it'll just not look too pretty, which should be fine. Looking pretty and functioning have their own ends. If the board is damaged, I won't be able to take this off without putting some of this on, which is just a UV resin for boards. because the traces could be exposed. But from what I can see, it looks pretty good. Also, whenever you're removing the vibration motor entirely, you only need 2 wires. Whenever it comes to soldering something in, it's only 2 wires required. Don't care, Oz. Hey, as long as it works, right? I'm not trying this again. But don't worry. Hopefully, I'll get it to where you don't have to try it again. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to prep up one of my switches here. You have all my switches anyway? Honestly, not the right switches. The ones that you're supposed to use are these. They're called T-Nuckas. They're a little bit smaller than the ones that you were using, just by a hair. It's got a shorter throw right here, and it's a little bit shorter all around. But those are the ones that fit perfectly. But don't worry, let's see. Honestly, I need to plug the battery in the USB in and see if it's taking charge. I need to remember what I did with your USB-C port. There it is. I found it. Flip up on this little lever here. Slide it in. Did you like the coins? I actually have the coins right here because I wanted to show you I did find them. But you also weren't in yet when I found them. I like them. They're nice. Almost perfect to fit in the little coin slot right here. Okay, so I don't need to plug the battery in. I just need to make sure the board can get power. Let's see if I need to plug the battery in. Those are what Gates 3D makes. Nice. Just makes little coins. Oh boy. Batteries seen better days. I think just the LEDs aren't working. I mean, it's a little bit more difficult to find. Okay. I might be able to bypass and use Pokemon Go to detect for a life. See if it'll connect. Oh yeah, I can also use Bluetooth, can't I? Details. Hmm. I have. I think I have some switch batteries on hand. For those of you who don't know, the Switch Joy-Con and the Plus Plus actually share a battery. I'm looking so far. What I'm thinking is, if you notice here, this ribbon cable looks a little wavy, and if you really get up and close, there's some of it that's pinched, so it might need a new USB-C port. So let's plug a new battery into it. See if we can't get a little bit of anything. There we go. Battery was absolutely toasted. Okay, so keep in mind the Plus Plus and the Switch Joy-Con do share batteries, and that's one of the very first things to always go out whenever it comes to the Plus Plus. So now we actually have the power showing. So it's charging, so the charge port works well and everything else. So that's going to be an amazing thing, which means that all I have to do is actually just modify this, throw it back together. I will say, after looking at it underneath the microscope, this board is a little destroyed. So instead of doing the taking off for these, I'm probably just going to go ahead and cover up 3 of them with electrical tape just to dim the brightness. But these top 3 I cannot take off, not willingly, without putting a bunch of this all around everything and possibly ruining that button, because that button as of right now still works. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this up and out of the way, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna prep one of these little itty bitty switches, which actually I only need 2 prongs. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna pull that 3rd prong off. If I had the the vibration motor, I'd leave it on. But it just gets in the way. Okay. So, and also when you're choosing wire, you want to go with AWG 24, 30, 26, 28. You want to go with like a really, really tiny gauge wire. This one, personally, I'm going to mod it with a brown wire, just because I like to use brown for mods. Oh, thank you for the follow, Purple. I appreciate it. We'll be doing garages and stuff tomorrow or the next day when I get more time to actually do it. Okay, so we just have the one wire. The wire. At a special order. some wire crimpers that had small enough gauge to actually tear these wires up the way I need them. All right. Hello, Mr. Pocket. I thought you had a dinner to get to. So, let me let me actually make it to where you guys can see what's going on more. Hello. If I don't drop the whole camera. Hope. I dropped the camera. Hold on. Get back to it. That was my bad. Oh no. Camera repair stream. Yeah, I gotta repair everything now. Okay, what happened here? I tried to get you guys closer and I broke it. Oh god. Camera? Hello? Did I break you? Hold on, technical difficulties. My battery door came undone. I don't even know how that happened. Hello, everybody. It's a very awkward moment. Ah, hello. It's working again. Let me try not dropping the camera again. Okay. Sheesh. All right. So we're gonna take our soldering iron here. Just act like nothing happened. It's alive. All right, so we're gonna put a little solder on there. And if you notice, the solder is smoking. It has some flux core. And then I got flux on my finger, and that shit's like liquid napalm. So we 310. I feel like llamas at 2 llamas stacked. Yes. That is the only thing that makes the most sense, is I am just 2 llamas stacked on top of each other, pretending to be human. You gotta make friends somehow. Oh, come on. That was a fat solder blob. Yeah, that's one way to say that, I guess. This would help. I would just go ahead, bite the bullet, and flux it up a little bit. and I will always recommend that to anybody that's looking at doing any kind of soldering, is that you flux it up every chance you get. And I'm not even gonna practice what I preach when I'm saying that. Right, so that makes the solder flow so much better, and I can pull on that, and that won't go anywhere. Super duper nice. Why don't you describe what flux does? Well, flux allows the heat to transfer more efficiently, and in some cases, actually allowing some flux to flow in a way that it wouldn't have initially done. That's a bad connection. All right. So there's also, I will say, there's a lot of different kinds of flux. I use the ones that come out of a tube, which it's supposedly no clean, but there's always something to clean. And if you let flux dry, it's very sticky and it's very hard to clean up. But if you clean it whenever it's warm, super easy to clean. Like a flux capacitor. No. Probably not exactly. I don't even really remember the full premise behind what makes the flux capacitors actually work in Back to the Future. It might be the same thing in a sense. He can't go 80. No, I can't. Also, another thing, very tiny heat shrink. Helps secure things, and it helps protect from any shorts. I always recommend it. Just makes the whole process easier and look cleaner. I do believe got a clown lighter, nice little dick. And I also like using what they call waterproof shrink wrap, and so it leaches out a little bit of resin that seals these entirely. We're off to get Chinese food. Enjoy the Chinese food. I love Chinese food. Gots to loves the Chinese food. Trying to remember which one of these little shits is positive and which one's negative. Give me a second. Picture around here somewhere. Technical. Okay, so this is the one that needs to get it soldered to. I feel like if you look hard enough, you can tell just by looking at which one has a positive attitude and which one has a negative attitude. Listen here, motherfucker. I'll show you a positive and negative attitude. Also, Term, you only had like 6 screws out of the 12 that are needed to put this thing together. But I have some switch screws that I think are going to be small enough to fit. Okay. If you lick them, the one that's positive is the one that tingles more. I mean, that's one way to look at it, I guess. Alright, so now... Oh, overexposure. So now I'm going to take this, and I'm going to connect it to this very small test pad that's right here. The test pad for this button is here and under this membrane. Okay. I need to shorten my lead. Okay. I did not fully like that connection. So I'm going to take a little solder while it's still got flux on the board. I'm going to add a little bit of a blob there. Okay. How many do I think I've modded? Yes. So that actually is the full mod done whenever you don't have the speaker. Not the speaker, the vibration motor. That's the full mod. You just connect from this point to this point, and then whenever you connect the two together, it sends a signal from there all the way over to here. And it's, like I said, it's a very simple mod. You do have to have kind of stable hands and be prepared to burn yourself. But I do think that if I take this brand new Switch Joy-Con battery, take those off the gator clips, and then plug the battery back in, should send the test signal when I flip this switch. And you'll know it's sending a test signal. Here, let me see if I can't get it to show it a little bit more. You'll know it's a test signal because it'll flash blue. In this case, it's flashing red because it's dead. And then we flip the switch off. It's acting like we just pressed the button for the first time. And that's it. Now all I need to do is button this whole thing up, put the new Joy-Con battery in the holder with some double-sided tape, and it'll be all hunky-dory. This put looks like it is called my octopus. It has four legs instead of eight, unfortunately. But that's it. Yeah. Now I just gotta put everything back in its shell. Try and button it up best I can. And make sure that everything fits in before I put electrical tape over the LEDs. All right. Let me go ahead and I'll just unplug the battery. Let's get my arms moved. Hot glue and tape is fine. Well, we do want it to be buttoned up, but I do want it to be very nice and weather protected as well. Like they have the weather seal right here on the button and all that. And if it gets pressed too much outwards, it will break it. And that's the last thing I want to do is break something that I'm trying to fix. Okay. So let's see what all screws you gave me to play with. Oh. They're all stuck magnetized to the bottom of the shell. There's not even any metal in the bottom. How is it magnetized? It's a plastic shell. What the hell? Alright, so let's see what we got going on for my bits. Just gonna do a pseudo test fit because I actually want to use one of those 3D printed pieces that Lois is sending me to hold the switch instead of hot glue. But that's because you have the speaker removed as well. That's the only time I'm going to be able to use those is when the speaker is removed. All right, so we're missing like 80 screws. So let's see if any of these are the right size. It's all good. It's all good. You probably anticipated getting it, taken apart and then put it back together almost immediately instead of having to put it into a Ziploc bag and wait. Beautiful. And also I do have some Nintendo replacement pieces like screws from Nintendo Switches. And so on any of the gold screws that would have been on the Plus Plus, they all typically work for Joy-Cons. So if I just use some of the Joy-Con screws, it should function just as it would buying it and getting it out of the box. Okay. So two longest ones get put in the charge port. Sorry if it's a little dark here. I took away my light. Okay. Shit. This bitch goes in second. You guys got me all flustered. Gosh. Gorsh. The board goes in because it needs to go in a specific way. There. Come on. There we go. Just dump them all out. Do you know what I do not know. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a little bit earlier in the day, Raj, in comparison to what I did here today. Because today I had to do a birthday party. I'm definitely thinking earlier in the day. Okay. If I can get this stupid screw to stay on there. There it goes. Now, tolerance isn't going to be the exact same terminal, so it won't be glued down to the board as it would have been before. And so the caveat to that being back here, there's a reset button. And if the board gets pushed too far away, you won't be able to hit the reset button, or you'll have to kind of squeeze the plus plus together and then hit the reset button. So that's just a fair warning to you. I'm happy if it works. Anything else is a bonus. Well, I mean, it's looking pretty good so far. I will say I did install the USB port upside down. So the other battery might actually work. I will test it before I do a full change out. Looking good though. It's all coming back together and getting put together pretty nicely. And then I can also see you've made this a little larger. Don't have to do that. But then again, you won't be doing this again, so... So it's not even like I really got to tell you. All right, so let's go ahead and test and see if this battery is any good. We'll do a full test on it now that the thing's actually put in the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, that battery is absolutely fried. Absolutely fried. Okay. And then I just need to quadruple and then even octuple check and make sure, because I'd rather not mess anything up before I can button it up. All right, so needed your help no matter what. I mean, you had the right idea, it's just it wasn't done to the right point. All right, cool. And does that top LED work to show that it is charging? Gotta go, bro. Thanks for the stream. All right, Raj, you take it nice and easy. All right. So, term, yours is entirely done in a sense of it works again. So that is a good start. It did need a new battery though, which is, you know, unfortunate, but at the same time, it's a good thing that you can just buy a Switch Joy-Con battery and replace it. Let's see if I can't. I got 3M tape somewhere around here for double-sided tape. Oh, hey. That battery was coming apart. How nice. Some possum, and that'll just tuck back up and around. If I don't throw it on the floor first. Yeah. Turn. Where is my pieces? I just had. Oh, there it is. Okay. And then. Take the battery. Just like that. Yeah. I need to put the motor screws in, even though there's not a motor left. Just temporarily put that in there like that for now. Slide that back together. And then we try and charge it up. Make sure that it can hold a charge. Because that's gonna be another big thing. Because I don't see the LED up here. Then again, the button is not working the way it's supposed to, so I need to take a gander at that anyway. But other than that, I think we're actually looking pretty good. That one went fairly smoothly. It does, I still have a few things that I need to get done to it. Looking and seeing if I can remove the LEDs or just put some tape on them. Yeah. Term, it is back to being a functional. I will make sure that it charges all the way before I have everything set as a set in stone. Because I do believe I can order the ribbon cable and the USB-C port for those and just replace it entirely. All right. Well, I thank everybody for stopping on by. But I'm going to call that the end of this stream here. I just wanted to get that one up and running because I had a fear that I wasn't going to be able to. I'm glad that I was fully able to. Not a problem, Term. I'm glad that it didn't need any... Or, well, it did need a couple replacement parts. I'm glad it didn't need everything replaced on the main board. That would have been the sucky part. Gosh, I hope everybody enjoyed. I will be doing it again. Hobby, that was pretty cool. Hobby, I actually will be doing yours probably tomorrow on stream. So I will talk to everybody later. I thank everybody for stopping by. It was really cool having everybody here, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.